Com, and welcome to this live stream. I want to share with you guys something that I learned today. In fact, 3 different things I learned today, and it came from a live, straight from the whale's mouth, right? That's the phrase. No, straight from the straight from the horse's mouth. There it is. I want to share with you 3 pieces of advice I learned from Facebook themselves about their Facebook business platform that I think is pretty bad advice. And I want to tell you what I would recommend instead. And that's coming from actually running the business and running Facebook ads and being successful with them. So I'm going to share with you kind of a little bit about the conference, and let's go ahead and dive right into it here. I'm going to bounce over to this screen, hide that guy, and bring this guy up. So it started out a few weeks ago. I was sitting at SeaWorld with my 3 kids and my wife, and we were celebrating a birthday in the family and just having a great time. And I saw an ad on Facebook, of course, for the Facebook Boost conference. It's called Boost with Facebook. You can kind of see on the screen here. And I was like, oh, what's going on here? So they were bringing over a couple of Facebook experts who are part of Facebook staff. And the entire goal was to go and give some education to small business owners, marketers, local freelancers, anybody like that who ultimately should be using Facebook's platform to make more money using their services. And so their whole thing is to go city to city, run ads in the city to bring people in and give them a couple hour workshop for free. A pretty good workshop. We'll talk about that in just a second. And it brought a crowd. So you can kind of see here. Let me see if I can get this guy to go full screen. There we go. So you can see it certainly brought a crowd. It got some attention. This is your homeboy right here in the front, and a pretty packed house there. I'm going to go and get off that in case somebody doesn't want their face to be seen online. So it was a pretty cool event. Went for a couple hours. They talked about kind of the basics of the Facebook platform, what a page is versus a group, some very basic stuff in there, which makes sense because a lot of these people are restaurant owners or they run landscaping companies, and they're just trying to figure out how to get more customers using paid advertising. So they did a good job in the beginning of really selling the service, and they did that by showing some awesome statistics. They mentioned here that, and some of these statistics were new to me. I knew the general magnitude, but not this crazy level of magnitude here. So in the US, people spend 1 in 5 mobile minutes on Facebook and Instagram. I'm assuming that also means Messenger, but they didn't specify Messenger because they talked about messengers all in a separate area. But 20% of the time people spend on their phones is on Facebook or Instagram. Can you imagine? And here, us bloggers, because I like to blog as well, we're all trying to get people off of Facebook and into our own website. And Facebook's methodology, kind of what they're trying to get us to do, is to go where people are and go ahead and put your message out there where they're already spending their time. Take away that friction of trying to get them to leave the platform they want to be on and go to your platform. So totally agree with that. It makes a ton of sense. You don't want to base your entire business off of Facebook alone, but that piece of advice is pretty awesome. They also kind of talked about stories, these little ephemeral, they last for 24 hours. All these people doing the classic like social media posting. I'm not a big fan of myself, but they're really pushing Instagram stories and Facebook stories as well. I don't even know what they're called on Facebook. I think they're stories as well. And kind of walking through some statistics here. I'll let you guys kind of read through this here, but really about what people are looking for when they are going through stories versus when they're going through a feed. Are they looking for finding a product or a brand, or are they just trying to build some relationship with people and what's going on there? The kind of takeaway here is stories are for kind of that brand building and becoming intimate and personal with your folks. And then if you want to try to build your brand or sell your products and make offers and do those sort of things, that's really where the feed comes from. So here's the thing. It was a great conference. I enjoyed it. It was good to kind of see ultimately like what a lot of my customers are, because I do run ads and traffics and I create funnels for local businesses. If you're interested in maybe seeing if you want to work with me on this as well, there's a link down below. You can click it and we can have a little conversation and see if we're a good fit. But it was interesting to see the basics of everybody who was there in the audience, and then what the content was really focused on in the pitch, like in the whole presentation. And this is where I started to see like some bad trends from somebody who knows what's going on inside of the advertising platform, and then seeing what was actually being pitched and discussed by the experts. And I want to cover for you 3 pieces of what I feel like it was kind of bad advice or bad focal points in the conversation and what I would have done instead. So the first one was they were talking about the different ad placement ideas, or the different ad formats, I should say. So they talked a lot about carousel ads, and this screenshot here is talking about the instant experience, where basically you're building out your entire web page, you're putting all this content into this ad, and you're stuffing this full experience into an ad. And they spent a lot of time on this. And there were people furiously taking down notes and trying to take pictures like I was, so I could share this with you guys, taking pictures with their phone of the slide, doing all this to try to figure out these extremely advanced placement types, these extremely advanced types of ads. And that is, okay, thank you, Bennett. Hey, what's up, man? So there's all this focus on these extremely intense ad types. They talked a lot about carousels. I've got several pictures I can share with you in future lives. But they didn't spend any time, and I'll show you on this one as well, all this focus on how to take a good picture, putting your image in the rule of thirds, taking, the whole placements and guidelines. And these are like restaurant owners. These are people who just want to sell their maybe tax consulting services. They are not full-time photographers. They don't want to be full-time photographers, but the content that was being talked about in this entire pitch was all about these advanced photo things, these advanced ad types. You know what was never talked about in the entire time was actually what type of a script should you actually put into your ad to attract the right person, bring them to your service, and ultimately sell them on whatever it is that you're selling them. It was all about the imagery, these things, like messenger ads they talked about. They talked about things that most people honestly have no business doing on their own. Really, what I would have done instead was have a clear balance between showing what these different types of ads are, but mainly what should go into the ad to get people to click. Yes, I would have covered a bit on photography and imagery and things like that. They also didn't even mention the rule about how much text can be on your image. They showed all these images with text all over it, but they don't tell you that they're going to hurt your reach if you do what they were kind of showing you here. So there are some mixed messages there from somebody who's done this for several years that I wasn't a big fan of. And also they mentioned a lot about Instagram and Facebook stories, these really quick little things that they're not assets. They're cool videos that you can shoot, people with bunny ears and dog tails and whatever. Like, that's great that they exist on the platform. It's great that you can do that, but these are all small businesses who are trying to go and build their business. A lot of them don't have that kind of time to put into this platform every single day. And I think a good 40 to 50% of the time of that entire conference was spent on these stories. What I would have suggested instead was help the audience understand the difference between assets you're building on the Facebook platform versus one-off pops or one-off experiences on the Facebook platform. And in reality, these stories, these quick videos that go away after a day, they're nothing that you can turn into an advertisement. They're nothing you can really get the deep level of data and engagement to know what to target in an ad. And if one story does really well, you can't turn that into an advertisement that can live on in perpetuity and continue to grow your business. Instead, I do think being on the social media platforms is valuable for anybody to build a brand and be out there and put themselves out there. But I think the better focus, the better advice would have been to take videos of yourself, kind of like what I'm doing here, and post those as either live videos on Facebook, ideally a live video across Facebook or Instagram or YouTube. Kind of pick your platform based on the demographic of your audience, and let me know in the comments if you want me to cover how to figure out the demographics of your particular target audience and how to know which social media platform to focus your energies on, because we don't have time to be on all of them. I know Gary Vee and all these big gurus, marketing gurus, will tell you to be everywhere and be omnipresent. But unless you're doing some of the tips I'm doing right here, I'm actually simulcasting to Facebook, to YouTube, and to Periscope right now. But unless you have these little ninja hacks like I'm using, you need to pick a platform and kind of double down on that and focus in on adding valuable content like I'm giving you right now, and taking those that do really well and turning advertisements out of that help pitch your product and service. And that's exactly what I do with my clients. If you're interested in learning more about working with me, where we can talk through your entire business process, figure out what process improvement areas there are, and then also learn how to amplify that with Facebook advertising or YouTube advertising. I keep to the basics. The ad types I tend to run, single videos. Sometimes the videos don't even have a call to action, and that's all part of a 3-step process I have when I do run ads for engagement and conversions. So single videos, no video carousels. Come on now. It takes so much time to put together some of these interactive all-in-one ad formats that may never work. I would much rather go through the process of creating a bunch of different versions of ads, a bunch of different copies, a bunch of different single images, and measuring and using the data to decide which performs better, and then focusing and optimizing from there. I felt that there was a lot of kind of shiny object syndrome, even in this 2-hour pitch of what you can do with Facebook, but not really what you should do with Facebook. And I understand they're Facebook employees. They can't say, use this feature, don't use that feature. That's where people like me, who we spent hundreds of thousands of dollars on the ads platform, can tell you. But keep it simple. Looking around, this is before the talk. People were kind of a little hesitant, but they're kind of generally happy. Towards the end of the talk, there was a lot of overwhelm in the room because there was just so much being thrown at them like a fire hose that I wouldn't have made that type of advice. I'm sure Facebook's going to get a lot of ad revenue from this event. I'm sure that a lot of people will sign up and start running ads. But my fear is that people will go in and try to find the most complicated versions of ads they can run, and they're going to go all in on that. They might not get results. They're probably not going to get results. And now they're going to go back to where they were before the conference and saying, Facebook ads just might not be for me, or maybe my audience isn't there. No, they barely covered targeting. They barely covered the most important parts of the ads platform, including your messaging and how to take a simple image that grabs their attention. Anyways, that's kind of my quick takeaways here. Let me bounce through the comments real fast. It's all about knowing your audience, what your audience is looking exactly. So guys, if you are interested, my name is John Whitford. I run ads for a living. We've made a lot of money doing it, and I enjoy doing it because I came as an engineer background. Like, I don't go after these kind of cool little things. Let me just pull this up again. Like, if we were to work together, I'm not going to do this for you. I'm not going to turn you into a bunny rabbit and prance you around on social media. I'm going to help you identify your message, your market, and how to deliver that in an authentic way, like I think I am doing here, and decide if we want to work together or not. So go ahead and click down below in the link that's on this video, or will be after it goes live, and let's work together in the future. So if you like this, if you want to hear more of the tips I got, because I do have, just kind of quickly bouncing to my photos here, I took a ton of information away simply because I like their template. I like their style. Like, that's just a really nice looking slide. So I took a lot of information away. I'd love to cover some more stats and things like that with you in the next video. Leave a like and a subscribe and all that fun stuff that you know how to do. And if you found this helpful at all, if you know a small business who has maybe talked to you about advertising, whether it be on Google or on Facebook, and if you think they might be the type of person to listen to this advice and try to set up all these custom audiences on their own and probably get in trouble from it, feel free to share this video with them, and I'd love to help them and talk with them as well. All right, guys, that's it for me. John here from incomesh.com, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.